live. I'll give it a few minutes just for people to tune in and switch on and come and see me and come and say hi. But what we're talking about today we are talking about, let me just sort this wire out. Today we are talking all about chakras and the healing process and what the healing process looks like, how it affects us individually, collectively, what we go through, the different things that we can experience, the different things that we can feel on a healing journey. And I think it's fascinating. It really, really is. And there's there's various beliefs out there about chakras, about energy, about healing, about the whole process of healing and what we go through, what we go down. There's a whole host of ideas and beliefs, and they often cross over. Grab yourselves a cuppa, by the way, if you're just joining on the catch up. So there's a whole host of different theories about chakras, and a lot of people talk about chakras in Reiki as well. You know, when they go for a Reiki session, and people often say, "Oh, I've got like blockages in my chakras," or my chakras are out of alignment, or you know, they use these sorts of terms. So that's something I'm going to cover. Obviously, we've got like that logo there is the third eye chakra, which is like here. It's actually like the back of the head, the middle of the head, right in the middle, and that's your third eye chakra, and that's to do with like visualization, dreams. It's your clairvoyance, it's your intuition. So that's like your third eye. But we're gonna dip into chakras quite a bit in this live. We're going to talk about chakras. We're going to talk about healing. We're going to talk about the healing process. What I've kind of discovered over the years with the different practices that I've used, and I continue to use, and the things that I've kind of like discovered and learned along the way, because it really is as you start to heal and evolve yourself, it really is a learning process, and you would evolve with that on that healing journey. So you take in the information that you need, you take in the information that you feel is resonating with you on some level, and you utilize it, use it. So that's something else we're going to cover today. So if you're new to the channel, if you don't know who I am, my name's Ian. This channel is called The Reiki Journey, but it covers a whole host of different things, not just Reiki, but meditation, mental health, EFT, hypnotherapy, all the different practices that I use. This is what this channel is all about. And so if that's something that interests you, and you're interested in spirituality and energy healing and healing and wellness and well-being, then please do subscribe to the channel, and check out my playlists. I've got nearly just under 2,000 videos now on this channel, with various things. And so what have we got here? So Devo Bravo, True Well Said, welcome. Meals with Baraka. You seem very intelligent. Have you considered checking what the Quran is about? It has helped my mental health so much, as I have a mental disorder. I have not. Does stones work? I have amethyst. What are your thoughts in that? Amethyst, so crystals, very, very interesting. Marina, hello, lovely. Crystals, I still use crystals occasionally. I don't use them as much as what I used to, but they are extremely useful and extremely powerful for your various energy centers, and they're very good for harmonization of your own energy, to connect a little bit deeper to yourself. And occasionally I use crystals for client sessions, for various points that I might use around the body. I don't particularly use them as in where I always follow the colour of the stone. I don't always follow the colour that corresponds with the energy center or the chakra or the power point in the individual. Sometimes I often use more of an intuitive approach, where sometimes if someone's sort of maybe root chakra or sacral chakra sometimes can feel a little bit sort of not flowing as well as it should be, maybe a little bit disconnected from the creativity or the grounding or the roots, or a little bit of instability in everyday life, then sometimes I'll use amethyst or I'll use clear quartz on those areas, because they've got such a great high vibrational energy that they help to kind of like just rebalance the energy that's there. So crystals, absolutely, I do love using them. I don't use them as much as what I used to, but I do absolutely love crystals and stones, and setting the intention with the crystals as well, and using them on that respect. Marina, I love my crystals and stones. I got so many; they all mean a lot to me. I mean, I have loads. Like I say, I was first drawn to crystals before I started using Reiki, but they were extremely. They were life changing for me. They really did. They kind of like pushed me vibrationally out of where I was into a new, into kind of like a new alignment. And so that takes me into what I want to talk about with regards to chakras. I've made videos about chakras before, and you tend to find that over the years your understanding of the energy centers and these chakras, these spiritual concepts, they do start to change a little bit. And so years ago, I would have always used the term blocked, a blocked chakra, and people still do use that term. I'm not kind of like knocking that on how people describe that. If they think of it as being blocked, I don't use that term anymore, because for me it seems quite negative. And it seems like it's not really serving a purpose by telling someone they've got a blocked chakra, or if someone believes they've got a blocked chakra. And what I feel now is actually happening is it's all to do with just your mindset. Your mindset is affecting your energy. So somebody might say that they have, say, a blocked root chakra, or their root chakra is blocked. But actually, what is actually happening is they're very anxious about where they are. They're not unsure of themselves. They might be very, very insecure. There might be something that's taken place in life. There may be, they might have lost a job. They might have lost a family member. They might be bereaving. They might be going through all these different things that life throws at us. Life likes to pull the rug from underneath our feet every now and again. And that's what's happening. It's nothing to do with anything being blocked. It's just life, and it's just where you are within your mental and emotional state. That's what I deem it to be now. I don't think of it as a block. You hear a lot of people that talk about blocked chakras, missing chakras. Missing chakras for me is a big no-no. And for me, from my understanding, if you had anything missing, an energy center that was missing, you'd be dead. You wouldn't be functioning very, very well. Because your chakra system is to do with your nervous system. Your chakras, chakra points that go all the way up and down your spine, they're where your nerves connect to your vital organs, to your bodily function. So if any of those were missing, then you're not going to be functioning very, very well. So that's my understanding of them. You can't have them missing. Anand, lovely to see. Aum, yes, that is one of the chakras we will get to eventually. So when I'm talking about root chakra, you tend to find with people that when they have anxiety, when they're not in a really good place within themselves, they will have issues with the root chakra. It's not that it's blocked, it's just there's something going on that is creating that disturbance in that energy, but it's not blocked. The energy is still flowing. The energy will always flow. It won't ever be stuck or stopped or blocked or missing or anything like that. Which then takes me obviously into the next one, which is your sacral chakra. A lot of people say that, my sacral chakra must be missing because I can't create anything, or maybe maybe they can't get, I don't know, maybe someone can't get pregnant or something like that. It's quite a sensitive subject, this one, because it's to do with your sexuality, it's to do with your creativity, it's to do with what makes you you, what makes you a masculine, what makes you feminine, because we're all masculine and feminine at the end of the day anyway. And so when we're talking about that, people might say, well, I'm not really into anything creative. I don't have a creative energy, so my sacral chakra must be blocked. But it's also to do with, one, it's to do with where you're at mentally, but also it's to do with your personality type, the way your brain functions. You might be more left brain or right brain, so you might be more analytical rather than creative. But even analytical people become creative. They become more creative with maybe the way that they work, maybe the way that they lay their desks out. So everybody's journey, the way everybody is totally, totally different. It's totally unique to them and to you, to me as an individual. So your personality type, your genetics, how you think, how you operate, it's all got to do with your energy. So there's nothing really blocked as such. But you can start to tap more into that creativity. You can start to maybe do more painting, do more art, do more colouring in, do more gardening. It doesn't have to be a certain thing. It could be music, anything where you're bringing something into life, into the world through your creative acts is creation at the end of the day. It doesn't have to be a specific art. You're just creating. So even if you might be planting things, you might like to do gardening, that is creation. So your creativity energy is there. So don't worry about that. We've had a few more questions just popped up. When I bought one, it showed me where it came from, like it was alive. Do they have their own consciousness? If we get healing from it, then what is the source? Nothing is for free. Do we also pay back? Some really, really great questions there, Devo Bravo. So do they have their own consciousness? Let's just break this question down a little bit. So when I first started using crystals, I could see and I could feel in my mind's eye and in my body what the crystal was going to do for me. And they connect to you on an individual level. So what you feel from them will be unique to you. So obviously in this instance, it showed you where the crystal came from. Do they have their own consciousness? Absolutely. They have an intelligence. So it's a natural form. Anything of a natural form, anything of the earth elemental energy, then it's going to have a frequency. It will have an intelligence. It will have a consciousness about it. Maybe not the same consciousness of what we're thinking and how we operate, but it will have a consciousness within it. If we get healing from it, then what is the source? So the source from the healing is actually, it's already source. It's the God source energy from the crystals, because it's made from the universe. So everything that is created on the earth, within the universe, all this energy, it's all made of the atoms. It's all made of all these different things that are basically particles of life that create life. That is where crystals come from. Crystals are created through heat, through vapor, through minerals, and that's how we're made. We're made through minerals and heat and vapor and whatever. And that's how life came to be on the earth. So there's an element of consciousness within it all. And do we need to pay it back? That's a really interesting question. And the way that I feel about giving back is, once you've had your healing, what you need to receive from that crystal, you gift it. You pass it on to somebody else, because somebody else is going to get what they need from that crystal if they feel drawn to it. You may feel drawn to give that crystal to somebody because you know they're having issues with maybe sleep, or maybe their love life, or maybe, whatever it might be. Give that crystal onto them, and then you're repaying that crystal back the energy by allowing it to serve its purpose for somebody else. If that makes sense, the actual energy exchange is you giving. So you've received, so now you're giving. So that's the energy exchange that's come from that. Can you do a chakra healing today? We can do a little bit of a meditation at the end of this one if you like, Marina. But you said everything is inside, it just reflects our state. So crystals don't have their own consciousness. So everything is inside. This is a really great concept. Everything is inside. Everything is within us already. So when we're holding a crystal, when we're holding a natural form, when we're holding maybe our pet or whatever it might be, we can feel and we understand the energy. We can connect to it. And the only reason why we can connect to it is because it is a part of us already. It's a part of the universe, and we're just connecting to that same consciousness. So it is already consciousness. It's consciousness in a form, but it's consciousness in a different form. It's more of a vibrational form, whereas for ourselves, it becomes a little bit more difficult to interpret because we've got our minds, we've got our ego, we've got the stuff that gets in the way where we're trying to rationalize and overthink things rather than just go with the intuitive aspect of what could be happening and what we're feeling, and rather than being in tune with ourselves. So it's a really great question, but it is of the same consciousness, but it is also of a different vibration, different vibrational consciousness. Because we're more, so physically we're more three-dimensional, and it's the physical world. Yes, the crystal is also three-dimensional because it is of the physical world, but mentally and emotionally, how we work with ourselves, that is what affects our vibration. That's what affects our energy, and that's how we raise our vibration. By if we're acting from places of peace and love and gratitude and compassion, that's what raises our vibration. Crystals are already that. They already are that energy. So that's why they're of a higher vibration than what we are, and that's why we get the healing from them to help to raise our vibration as well. Anand, are you vegetarian? No, I am not. I've tried to be vegetarian, but I like my meat too much. Wow, that's crazy. Thanks. You're very, very welcome. I hope this information makes sense to you guys. Give me some hearts as well. And if you want me to clarify or try and cover anything more specific, then do let me know. So now the journey of the chakras, we're moving now into the solar plexus chakra. So we've covered root, we've covered sacral, we're going into the solar plexus. A lot of people might say, oh, well, I have no confidence whatsoever. So my solar plexus chakra is just so out of alignment. I don't feel very driven, yada, all this sort of stuff. I don't have any confidence. So it must be blocked, or it must be out of alignment, or whatever. And again, basically, it's all to do with what's going on up here. It really is. So thank you very much for liking Devo Bravo. Guys, you also don't forget to double tap the screen. And I can't do it my end. But yeah, double tap the screen to give me some loves. Thank you very much. So solar plexus chakra. So solar plexus, it's all to do with your drive in life. It's all to do with your movement forward. So if you're feeling a little bit stuck, if you're feeling a little bit kind of stagnant, things aren't flowing the way that you want them to, then there's just something that's going on mentally and emotionally up here that's kind of like you're having to take a sit back. You're having to just rest. You're having to just go into maybe a little bit of meditation, a little bit of mindfulness, just take a pause, take stock of where you're at before you then start to move forward. And the one thing I want to add about this as well, to do with chakras, and especially to do with healing, is your chakras are never always in one constant state. They're always changing. They're always evolving. They're always moving, expanding, contracting, as you do, as you breathe and as you move through life, because every single situation that we go through in life has a direct effect on our energy, on our source energy, on our chakras, on our emotional state, our mental state. So we can be walking around. You could be walking through town, and then maybe if you got maybe, for instance, maybe you've got some level of PTSD. Maybe you were used to be in a war or something like that. So anytime you hear a loud bang, it scares the shit out of you because it's bringing that PTSD reaction back from bangs in war times, and that is kind of like that's a reflection of your energy. And as soon as that happens, it's affecting you. So it's all these little, and it doesn't have to be a shock thing either. It doesn't have to be like a massive thing. Conversations between different people. I mean, we don't always get on with everybody. So somebody you might speak to that you're like, you kind of tolerate them and you get on with them as best as you can, but you're glad when the conversation's over so you can move on. You know, we all have people that like that. That affects your energy. When you're moving around day to day, you're going through supermarkets, shops, wherever, everybody's got all their own energy field that is around them and it expands beyond the physical. You're intermingling and moving with so many different energies that you don't see with the physical eye, but you can feel it. You can feel it when it's like when you walk into a room and you feel that something's about to kick off, or something has kicked off, or there's going to be a fight, or whatever. You can just sense it and you can feel it. That's because you're working from your energy. You're working from your energetic field. You're working from your intuition. So your chakras are never always perfectly in one state. They're always changing. They're always evolving. They're always moving and manipulating, just like the tide of the ocean, you know, just like night and day. It's always evolving, it's always changing. And that's, so that journey that we've just taken through there with the bottom three chakras are more to do with your physical, the physical you, the root, the sacral, solar plexus, all to do with the physical you. And then we start to get more into the heart, where you're starting to raise your vibration and your level of consciousness. So when you get into the heart chakra, you're more into the vibrations of love, of joy, of compassion, and of peace, and that's where we're working. But if you can't find that in life, if you can't get that, then there's an imbalance somewhere. There's something that you're not doing, like mentally and emotionally. There's something that is stopping you from connecting on that level. Maybe you just need to let some walls down that you've put up to allow yourself to be loved, and to allow yourself to love yourself as well, and to also give love to others as well. So all these journeys and these things that I'm talking about to do with your chakras, it evolves beyond into all your other chakras. So your throat, communication. If you've got issues with communication and the throat, area, you might get a lot of colds. You might have thyroid issues. You might get a lot of throat infections, tonsillitis, things like that. So all the chakra stuff affects the physical as well. Your energetic affects your physical. Eventually, if it's not kind of like worked with and aligned, and that so again goes for the third eye and the crown. So you've got these 7 main chakras in the physical body that are connecting you on various levels to your physical self and to your emotional and spiritual self as well, and your mental self, which then takes it into kind of like healing. So I've just done a post for my Facebook and Instagram pages earlier today, and it was all to do with healing. And it was basically just explaining what healing looks like. And healing is different for everybody. As I was saying earlier on at the start of this video, this live, healing is totally different for everybody. So one day you can be joyous, you can be full of happiness and feeling really, really good. The next day or the day after, you could be really kind of like really down, really emotional. You could be really angry, you could be really upset, you could just feel really fatigued and tired, you could be frustrated. But that's because, as I was just explaining about the chakras, and your mental and emotional state is constantly changing and constantly evolving. This is why we go through these vast array of feelings and emotions. And, then we have to look into things such as meditation, such as our diet, such as, exercise, such as things like maybe yoga and Pilates and stretching the body and moving the energy around the body, getting more into maybe some level of mindfulness, Reiki as well, and some energy healing, which just helps to allow your chi, your life force energy, your ki, your prana, whatever you want to call it, to flow easier. And to just allow all your energy to just like sort of just start to move and shift things and allowing you to energetically evolve and move through all of that stuff. So yeah, so healing in itself is very, very different for everybody across the whole spectrum. It's not one thing. It's a whole array of things. It's a whole array of emotions, reactions, doings, and all that sort of stuff. And for me, the biggest part about healing, so we can go through all these ranges of emotions. We can go through all of these feelings. We can go through all of these reactions. And you can go through it and you just go with the motion of it. You just like feel it and you go through it, and it becomes almost like cyclical, where the same things keep going round and round in circles. And the biggest thing about healing is actually having the awareness of what is happening, why it's happening, having the awareness of these cycles that you're going through. So without awareness, no actual healing takes place. You just keep going through the motions. You just keep going. It's being like in a washing machine, basically. You just keep getting tumbled about from reaction to emotion to feeling to reaction, emotion, feeling. You just keep getting moved around in this cyclical cycle of stuff. But as soon as you start to get awareness, then it starts to change the whole ball game. And the washing machine, the spin cycle starts to slow down, and you start to become aware more of the emotions, more aware of the body, the energy body, what's going on, where is it going on, why is it doing that. You become a little bit more aware of your body and how it reacts to certain emotions at certain times. And so with that awareness is where the healing actually starts to take place. So without awareness, nothing will happen. You will just keep going through the cycle, but eventually you'll get to a point where it'll be like, there'll be a click, and there will be a level of awareness that will come to it. It might not be as deep as some people, but there will be a level of awareness that will come up for that. Well said. I've tried pranayama, it works like crazy. People say yoga and Surya Namaskar do the same. These are not just exercise, they work on the energetic body. Absolutely. And as I often say in pretty much all of my videos, the energy is everything. Even, I'm sat here, I'm sat at this desk, I've got this pad and pen in front of me, I've got this cup of tea and all this sort of stuff around me, but everything is energy. And everything is vibrating at a different frequency. So it's vibrating at a low frequency, so we can actually see it, we can touch it, we can feel it, we can sit on it. But beyond that, it's all made of atoms, which is energy. And that's the same as us in our physical form. And that's why we're seeing now is a lot of people are going through a lot of these big polarity shifts, a lot of emotional healing, a lot of spiritual healing, a lot of spiritual awakening that people are going through, because the vibrational frequency of everything that is around them, their friends, family, loved ones, the earth, nature, the whole universe, everything is evolving and everything is changing energetically. And that's why we are as well. We're evolving and we're going through all that stuff. So as we move through this stuff, it's bringing all this stuff up as well. All these, I've used the word stuff far too many times there, but it's bringing all of these emotions and things up with it. And that's why we're experiencing a lot of this right now, and why a lot of people are really kind of lost, really, and they don't know kind of like what's going on. There's a lot of people that are clued in, a lot of people that are waking up to what life is really about. They are going through this spiritual transition, but there's still a lot of people that are just going with the motions, in this three-dimensional cycle of stuff again, you know, that we do go through. But yeah, there's a lot more people that are getting more in tune with that. So yeah, so that's why all this stuff is like kind of coming up for so many people. Yeah, so Nikola Tesla also said everything is a frequency. Absolutely, frequency, energy. It's all the same thing. Jesus loves you and he died for you. He did. Thank you, Jesus. We all love a bit of Jesus, a bit of Christ consciousness within us, within all of us. We are all of that light. We are all of Christ consciousness. We all God. Maya Matrix is meant in a way that if we try to get into spirituality, we suddenly start to feel sudden resistance out of nowhere. Did you feel that both in physical and astral worlds, I think? Absolutely, yeah. So that's what I mean. And when you get more into the energetic side of things, that's when the healing and the emotion, the actual connection, because it's creating awareness. The spiritual way is creating the awareness. So like, you know, that's exactly what Jesus was teaching everybody. You know, that Jesus was saying the kingdom of heaven is within you, meaning that heaven is already there. It's already a part of you. It's nothing separate. You can't point at it and say, oh, there it is. We are already a part of that. And as we become more aware of that, and as we soften our energy and become more aware and open, we then become more aware of what we're feeling, what we're going through. We become more spiritually aligned within and become more connected to that as well. So yeah, absolutely. And you will feel a resistance, but I always say as well in a lot of my videos is when you come up with the resistance is where you need to go. You need to step into the resistance. If you avoid the resistance, then you don't kind of grow beyond that. It's a little bit like when things that make you a little bit scared, that make you a little bit fearful, certain decisions that you might need to make in life, if they create a little bit of fear, then that's where you need to step into, because the fear creates an excitement as well. And that excitement is a different vibrational frequency to fear. So it kind of like neutralizes the fear, and the universe responds with excitement, with abundance, with something new. Something new will come in to help you evolve beyond that fear, beyond that resistance of what you might be sat in. And that's another great example of like a healing journey. So whenever you are feeling a resistance to go and do something, such as going for a walk, going for a workout, going for a Reiki session, sitting down to do some meditation, doing some yoga, whatever it might be, if there is resistance there to do any of that, you've got to think, right, well, why? Why is there a resistance there for me to do that? And then when you do it, you realize that that was exactly what you needed to do. That's exactly what you needed to feel after that. And sometimes it'll push emotions up. And yeah, sometimes you might feel worse, but once you've got through that bit of shifting, you're going to feel better after it, because you've gone through it, you've moved through it, and you've evolved emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically as well. So this whole holistic healing system within spirituality is so powerful. It really, really is. And the only reason really why I wanted to do this live today was I've seen a lot of people talking about like healing, the journey of healing, and just when you think you're getting there, you've got everything sorted, you're like, oh, finally I'm healed from this, I've sorted this out. Like same for me recently, you go back to something and you think, oh, I thought I'd sorted all this out. But it's just a reminder that this stuff takes a long time to work on. And it's only really for when you want to get the awareness and you want to do the journey, you want to step into that, and you want to be more aligned within yourself. You want to be more more true to your way of being, then you will want to go in there and you will want to do the extra work. You will want to pay that attention to what you're feeling, what you're going through, the stuff that you're experiencing. You will want to do all that because it's not always easy, but it is always beautiful. Regardless of the outcome, regardless of how you feel, sometimes going through the toughest stuff is the most beautiful thing you can do, because then it makes you realize that actually, yeah, I can do this. I'm going to get through this. I will be okay. So, yeah, and you just find that strength within. You really, really do. Good evening, Gillian. So that's kind of like what we've been covering today. You know, chakras, healing, the journey of healing, the ups and downs, the roller coaster of what it all means and what it all is, and how we're all so unique, so individual, and you know, healing doesn't just sit in one cap, on one head. You know, it's different for everybody, and yeah, like I said about chakras, your chakras are never going to be perfect all the time, because we're constantly changing, we're constantly evolving, we're constantly going through different emotions and different feelings and sensations all the time. So your chakras, your energy centers are constantly expanding and retracting and what have you. So yeah, it really is kind of like a beautiful journey, and like I just mentioned earlier, if I didn't start doing the meditation like I did all those years ago to then raise my awareness, the healing wouldn't have started. The healing only starts to happen when you have awareness. If you don't have awareness, you just keep going round and round in circles like a washing machine, going through the emotional responses, the reactions, the feelings, the hurt, just going round and round and round in circles without being aware of it, without even knowing why it's there, why it's happening, what's going on, why you're feeling that way, why certain things make you feel a way. But once you start to become aware of it, whole ball game changer, because that awareness makes you look at things. It gives you clarity of mind. So for me, the clarity that I got when I was in that state, when I was in that position, was to leave a job that I'd been in for 18 years. It was time to leave. And the universe magically gave me the opportunity by making my position redundant. So I left that job, I went somewhere else, and then I found out about Reiki, and that's when I got into Reiki and started learning about Reiki. But it was from that awareness of knowing about where I was and the energy that was going on around me. If I didn't have that awareness, I wouldn't have moved. I would probably stayed and tried to just fight with what I was going through. But the awareness then makes you realize that you don't fight it. You move through it. You move with it. You see where it's going to take you. Rather than resisting, as we were talking a little bit before about resistance, rather than resisting, go with it. See where it's going to take you. It's a little bit like a good friend of mine who's been on the channel before, Patrick. He's a psychotherapist, and he also teaches languages. But he's working on a new something he's called Ego Aikido, and I used to practice Aikido years ago, and that is all to do with harmonizing of your opponent's energy. So it's blending with it. So rather than resisting it and trying to stop it, you're blending with it. You're blending with the flow of the universe. And that's kind of like what we do. From awareness, we mold and we blend with it rather than trying to block it and fight it and resist it, because that just creates tension. It creates friction and tightness, and you hold all this stuff in, this stress, and then everything starts to like really slow down, and you become blocked in your thinking, and you don't know, and you just feel boxed in. But as soon as you start to when you breathe, you relax, you let go, your consciousness expands, you become more aware of who you are, where you are, why you are, and then you move beyond that, you evolve beyond that. So, yeah. So I'm glad you enjoyed that. So is Marina still here? Exactly what I was about to ask. I am working as a robotics engineer. This was my passion, but now I feel like my destiny is somewhere else. It's spirituality. It comes naturally. Can't force. It's flow. Yeah, and you'll just feel, at some point you will just feel a divine pull to do something different. You will feel a pull to either leave, to go somewhere else, to try something else, to join forces with somebody else. You will just feel a pull, and it's like it'll be like every bone in your body is telling you it's time. It's time to take that step. And as I was mentioning earlier, that fear that comes up with that resistance, that's kind of like your telltale sign to step into it. Because the fear, like I was saying, the opposite of fear is this excitement. It brings up this excitement energy. So once you step through that, you start to think, oh, actually, I've done it. Like, what is going to happen now? And it brings up this excitement energy, and you're like, yes, yeah, and you start moving on this new pathway, this new avenue, and you start following your spiritual calling. You're following your divine spark, your pull, your intuition, whatever you want to call it, your higher self. It's all pulling you in that perfect direction. A lot of people do that as well. A lot of people will do that, and they'll think, oh, but I felt the calling, I felt the pull, and everything's gone wrong. Everything's falling apart. My whole world's falling apart. Nothing's working anymore. Nothing feels right. And that can be like a kind of a two-way thing. So one, it wasn't your intuition. You weren't feeling a divine calling. It was your ego that was talking, and you weren't aware of that. Or there is something that you need to learn beyond that, a little bit deeper, on a deeper level, about that journey. There might be a reason why everything's collapsing, everything's falling apart, because you need to rebuild, you need to bring things back together. And again, that creates the fear. Like, so when everything's starting to collapse and fall apart around you, and you'd visualize, you've done the manifestation, you've sat there, you've meditated, you've seen it all like perfect, how it's meant to be in your mind. But we straight away set up this expectation. But as soon as you set up an expectation, you set up a level to not to fail, but it's your expectation. It's not what is meant to happen. And sometimes that's a level of ego that comes in, because we think, well, this is how I'm thinking. This is how I think it's going to happen. But in actual fact, you have to go and then get there. So it can be a bit of a journey at times. Yeah, so Philippa, hi Ian, just to let you know, I've had my MRI scan for my hip. Excellent, since your hypnotherapy and EFT session with me. And how is the hip? Do let me know. If you want to message me privately, if you don't want it to be sort of public knowledge, but you were fine. Excellent, well done. That's wonderful to hear. Oh yeah, because your MRI, you go in, don't you? And it's in that. Yeah. Do you mind if I explain to people what you came to see me for, Philippa? Do you mind? Just, if you don't mind, then I'll explain what you came to see me for. I don't want to break confidentiality and what have you, but it's a really, really interesting case that I was working with you. Devo Bravo. What you were saying, it's coming from real experience, hence it's so powerful. Everyone won't get it. Most people are only living in the lower chakras. It will touch the heart of pure ones. Absolutely. You don't mind. Excellent. So Philippa has beautifully, kindly, she's such a beautiful, beautiful soul, and she's also a Reiki practitioner, and Jane, who's a good friend of mine, is her Reiki master teacher. But Philippa came to see me for some hypnotherapy and EFT. I went to one of Jane's Reiki share, who lives in a town nearby to me. And that's where I met Philippa, and I'd explained the different practices that I do. And Philippa came to see me because of fear of enclosed spaces and like claustrophobia and a little bit of worry if she can't get out of a situation. So she came to see me. So I suggested, some EFT alongside the hypnotherapy. And as you can see, Philippa had to go for an MRI scan for a hip. So they put you in the tunnel thing, and she was fine. She got through it all. So it just shows how powerful hypnotherapy, and I often combine hypnotherapy and EFT together because they go so well. Because the majority of the time, people that come to me for hypnotherapy, it's something emotional. So the EFT is the emotional freedom technique. It works really well alongside the hypnosis session. Plus, you can use the EFT in your own time. You can tap on the different things that you're going through and what you're feeling. So I'm so pleased to hear, Philippa, that you've got through that and everything went okay. So that's absolutely amazing. It really, really, it blows my mind every time how powerful it really is. And yeah, I mean, I've worked with a few people that that wanted to stop smoking, they've wanted to stop different addictions, and I've done the hypnotherapy. I've done maybe 1, maximum 2 sessions, and they've quit, they've stopped. It just shows how powerful, not just the hypnotherapy, but how powerful we are as individuals. It's not all down to me. I always say it's probably about 60-40. So it's more 60% that you, the client, is ready to let go of something, and then 40% is just how I script and how I word and how I take you into the hypnosis session to try and deal with that. So thank you for letting me know, Philippa. That's really, really beautiful. So I mean, if anybody's interested in booking any hypnotherapy with me, or EFT or Reiki, I can do it all distance as well, so you don't have to be here. I can do it via Zoom or Google Meets, or Reiki. You don't need any sort of technology. I just do the session and I'll send you all the information that I get through that. But if you're interested in booking a treatment with me or a session of anything, do get in touch. All my links are always below in the descriptions box of the videos. Can you make me not eat rubbish? As long as you don't want to eat rubbish, I can make you. I can't make you do anything, but I can help you to change your thinking. Yeah, it's just about rewiring your thought processes. That's all it is. So yeah, and usually the thing is with food, again, that comes down to an emotional thing. It really does. It's an emotional issue. We're trying to. We're usually trying to avoid something by consuming. So we consume things to avoid an emotional response to something. I used to be terrible for that. I used to be terrible with food. I used to just eat loads of crap when I was stressed. And then I realized, the awareness came in. So as soon as the awareness came in and I realized it was stress related, stopped doing it. I kind of like hypnotized myself, really. But it's the awareness. The awareness is key to everything. It's the key to the whole 9 yards of healing. If you have no awareness, nothing's going to change. As soon as you start having an awareness of why, when, how, who, what, all the W's, all the open questions. As soon as you start having an awareness to that and you start to work through that one by one, then the healing begins. It really, really does. It's transformational. It really is. And I couldn't see my life without this stuff anymore. I really couldn't. I was just talking about my friend Patrick, and I sat with him yesterday on a Zoom call because you wanted some guinea pigs to use this ego aikido that he's trying to put together. So you wanted a few people to practice on. So I said, yeah, I'll practice with you if you want. So we worked on a few things yesterday, and he said to me, obviously you're very in tune with your own energy, you're very in tune with your body, and he said what we've just done there with you is kind of like 10 therapy sessions for one person that isn't aware at all. So there was a lot of stuff that was going on that I was aware of, and I could feel and I could sense and I could feel the energy moving as I was starting to work with it, and I was starting to polarize it. And the stuff that I was working through, I felt a lot of tingling energy in my sacral chakra, all that sacral energy, my mid-back, solar plexus, my shoulders felt a lot lighter, they kind of like dropped, my heart opened, and then this energy sort of like just moved up, and kind of like out of my head. So that's like you kind of like polarizing the energy when it moves up. And usually when you're in a Reiki session, when you're in a Reiki treatment or you're in a meditation, you will often see colours going up, moving up, floating up, like shapes and colours and whatever. And it's because all the energy is being polarised, it's moving up your energy body, and that's kind of like what you visualise, and that's what you're seeing. Does anybody want to do a quick 10-15 minute meditation for your chakras? Let me know if you want to do I'll do a little bit of Reiki as well online. I'll do a bit of distance Reiki for you guys as well. Let me know if you want me to do some Reiki, or if you want to do a meditation or a bit of both, then do let me know. Just comment in the chat box and let me know, and we'll work on your chakra energy, and yeah, we'll do a bit of Reiki. Let me know if you want to do that. Awareness: we are all bubbles who originated from the sea will merge back into the sea. Awareness means realizing we are all one. This ego, me, mine, I, means nothing. This up like something coming out of head. I feel that in deep meditation. What is that? I also want to learn Reiki. Yeah, the thing that feels like it's coming out of the head, yeah, to be honest with you, Reiki is just like, it gets a bit kind of like, it gets a little bit wishy-washy with a lot of people, but Reiki it's a self-healing practice, it's a self-development practice basically, and it's helping you to harmonize your energy, and to just become more calm, and to become more connected to your spiritual self. That's what it's all about, through the various practices. So if your nature is healing, then Reiki is perfect for you. It really is a beautiful, beautiful modality. So Philippa says yes to some Reiki and a meditation. When you feel something coming out of your head, usually it's the energy is moving up and out. It's being lifted away. So yeah. So right, okie dokie. Well, we'll get down to this now. So just get yourself in a nice, comfortable place. Just close the eyes down. And just begin just by taking a few nice deep breaths in through the nose. Some nice long, slow exhales through the mouth, and just allow yourself to just relax into this present moment. Allow yourself to relax into this space. Allow yourself to become fully aware of your breathing. Allow yourself to become fully aware of your body, where you sit. And that awareness of your body and your breath helps to keep you anchored and safe in the present moment. totally connected to the mind, body and soul, feeling safe, feeling at peace, feeling at one with the breath. Just allow that to happen. Allow yourself to relax. Allow the mind to become clear. Just return that breathing to its normal rhythm. With each in-breath, I want you to imagine breathing in a beautiful white light. With each out-breath, you breathe out that white light. Breathing in light, breathing out light. Breathing in light, breathing out light. And breathing that light into the lungs and allowing that light to expand and move through your whole body. Breathing in and breathing out that white light. Feeling lighter, feeling more centered, feeling more at one with yourself, feeling more relaxed, feeling more at peace. Breathing in that light and breathing out that light. To begin with, just send now your awareness down to the toes. And feel the energy in the toes. Feel that tingling in the feet. And move the energy into the ankles. Move the awareness into the knees. And allowing that light that you breathe in and breathe out to move into these areas. Connecting you deeper to that energy. Bring that light and that breath and that awareness to the hips, to your chest, to your fingertips, your shoulders, your neck, allowing all that light and that breath to lower all that tension, allowing all those muscles to relax, allowing yourself to just let go, to just surrender and just be at total peace with yourself. And bring that awareness to the very top of the head, the crown of the head. And just relax. Breathing in and breathing out. Good. And in this place of stillness and awareness, just in your mind, just follow these words in your mind or out loud. I am safe and I am grounded. I am safe, I am grounded. I am safe, I am grounded. And imagine these words now moving down to the base of the spine. And feel what it feels like to be safe. Feel that emotional connection. Feel and imagine how it feels to be totally safe, totally at peace, and totally grounded. And it will be so. Because you are safe, and you are grounded in mind, body and soul. And now just follow these words in your mind or out loud. I am a creative light, and I am abundant. I am a creative light, and I am abundant. I am a creative light. I am abundant. And now imagine these words moving now to your sacral chakra. And just feel and imagine what that feels like to be that light of creation. To be a flow of beautiful divine abundance. Of whatever that means to you. It's totally individual. But just be with that feeling, be with that emotion. And it will be so because you are a creative light of source. And you are abundance in form. And just breathe and follow that breath. Follow that light, breathing in that light, breathing out that light. Now moving to your solar plexus chakra. And in your mind, following these words, I am confident and I am driven. I am confident and I am driven. I am confident. I am driven. And once again, allow these words to move to the center of your being, to that solar plexus chakra. And bring all of those feelings of confidence and drive to your very being, to your mind and body. And you will be so because you are confident and you are driven. And from a place of grounding and safety, from creativity and that divine spark of abundance, and your confidence and drive, you can do whatever you want in this physical life, following your soul purpose. And now moving that awareness now to your chest, to your heart, following these words. I am love and I am joy. I am love and I am joy. I am love and I am filled with joy. And feel that in your heart. Feel that in your mind and body. Feel what love and joy and compassion feel like to you as you spread and share your light to others around you. Sharing your love, sharing your joy, sharing your compassion. Now move that awareness to your throat. And here just follow these words. I communicate clearly. I express my emotions effectively. I communicate clearly. And I express my emotions effectively. And just send those words and that awareness to your throat. And be clear about those words. Be clear with that communication to yourself. speaking from your authentic self, your divine self. And it shall be so. And moving to your heart, to your third eye chakra, and following these words, just placing that awareness, that point between the eyebrows, in the center of the forehead. I see clearly. I follow my intuition. I see clearly. I follow my intuition. I see clearly. I follow my intuition. And just be those words. Connect to those words. See those words. And visualize yourself following your vision, following your intuition. And it shall be so. And now bring that awareness to the very top of the head, to your crown. And just follow these words. I am connected to the source energy. I am divinely protected. I am connected to source energy. I am divinely protected. And now just imagine and visualize that source energy as a golden light. And allow it now to move down around your aura, around your body, all the way down to the soles of the feet, filling your aura, filling your space with this golden, healing, powerful, divine energy that protects, clears, and resolves any issues. And it shall be so. And just be in that space. Just follow your breath. Allow that golden healing light from the divine source energy to move and flow around your being, healing any areas that you feel need some assistance. As I allow this Reiki energy to move to you, providing more healing, more light, and just be with that. And just gently and carefully bring your awareness back to your breathing, back to your breath. Bring the awareness back to the place that you sit. Bring your awareness back to your feet and back to your hands. And I'll count from 1 to 3, and then you can open your eyes on 3. 1, becoming more connected to your body. 2, keeping that wonderful feeling of relaxation and centeredness. 3, opening the eyes when you feel ready. Come back to the room. Come back to the now. And I hope you enjoyed. Beautiful, beautiful. Good, good, good. Vibration all over the body. Feeling lighter, feeling better. Excellent. Good. It's good to hear, Devo Bravo. It's nice to hear. Yeah, felt like there was a lot going on. A lot of healing taking place in that one. A lot of lovely energy. A lot of lightness. It's really good. It's amazing. Like, I mean, the fact that you are where you are, wherever you may be in the world, and I'm here, and because we're all connected. You're welcome, silly little kitties. I love that name. You're welcome. I'm so pleased you enjoyed. Thank you for popping in. I think you popped in about halfway through, so I do apologise. But yeah, thank you for being here, and thank you for staying and enjoying the little bit of healing and that meditation and a bit of Reiki. So yeah, so there we go, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Stable, calm, less noise. Mention what I felt without bias. Thanks a ton. I am out of words. You are so, so welcome. You're welcome, Philippa. I'm glad you enjoyed as well. But yeah, thank you all for being here. Thank you for some great questions. Thank you for taking the time out of your day, afternoon, evening, wherever it is for you, whatever time it is for you to tune into the channel and to enjoy. If you've enjoyed being here and you haven't subscribed, please do. Thank you for all the likes and the thumbs up and the loves. Devo Bravo, I have a question. How can I learn Reiki? So try and find a Reiki teacher that is near you. Try to learn it in person rather than online. I always condone in-person training rather than online. You get so much more for it. You'll get so much more from it as well than learning online. There are different types of Reiki, yes. So the main one that you normally have to start with is the Asui. Asui Reiki, or Asui Shikiri-Yoho, it's normally called or known as, which is the traditional style of Reiki. There are different branches and different sects that go beyond that, such as Holy Fire, Karuna, Tibetan, Angelic. There's loads and loads of different types. You normally have to be attuned to Asui before you can do all the others. I think Angelic is slightly different, so you can do Angelic before Asui, because I know my friend did that. But it's all the same thing in my eyes. It all comes from the same place. It just has, it's for me, it's just kind of like different labels, really, different titles. I've received and I've had different types of Reiki before over the years, and it all feels the same. It doesn't feel like any difference, really. But you know, it doesn't mean that it isn't. I mean, who can we say what's actually happening? Because it's all energetic, what's going on. So. I feel connected with Om. I heard this. And anyone can hear this in deep meditation. It is universal, always on. Is there an Om Reiki? I've never heard of an Om Reiki, but it doesn't mean that there isn't. There might be something called Om Reiki, but I don't think there is. But you can always search it. I mean, I do teach Reiki, but obviously I don't know where you are in the world. I'm in Northeast England, so and like I said, I only teach in person. But what I am thinking of doing in the near future is setting up some courses on YouTube, and it will be like kind of like refresher courses for people that have learned Reiki but maybe want to like just maybe dip back into it because they haven't done anything with it for a while. So I am wanting to do some refresher courses that you will be able to buy online at some point in the future. That's when I get myself around to actually doing it. So yeah, but if you've got any questions, any further questions, or feel free to reach out. Check out the channel. I've got loads and loads of content to do with Reiki. Check out my Reiki playlist. There's loads of stuff on there that cover different questions to do with Reiki and how to practice Reiki and the different techniques we can use. And also check out my website if you want to book any healing through me, or any hypnotherapy, anything like. Check them out. Yeah, just get in touch. You can get in touch via the website. The website has a WhatsApp link, so you can WhatsApp me. You can email me through the website as well. So just keep in touch, and let me know what you're doing. Let me know how you're getting on, and I'll see you again on another video, another live very soon. But thank you for being here. Much love, and see you all again soon. So toodaloo for now. Thank you. Bye. Bye bye.